Greetings, everybody. So happy that you are here with us. We're sorry for a little bit of technical difficulty. I love how Tama K is like, we will always blame Mercury on that. But we had fun for our 15 minutes because it was just not for a few minutes. So we're all live now. We're so happy. Okay, good. So I am not Tama K. No. I am Hunatara Kuya. And I am with my fellow Kuyas, Huna Himana Kuya, Huna Makoro, and Huna Watawaho. And greetings, family of light. We're honored that you are here with us today in Sacred Circle. I also wanted to bring attention to the fact that Mauta is present with us today. Of course, he is always present with us in the formless, and he is still in the formless. But I had special interactions today that I will bring up a little later that explain why I'm saying this to you. But he is here. So greetings. That surfing the end there. I don't know. Is that my screen? It probably is my screen as well. Okay. Very good. Okay. So I would like to bring in the Kuyas. There are 4 of us. And we know that in a sacred circle, there are 4 directions. And I would like to call in our directions. We are not set in stone with the directions that our essences are in. They are ever changing. But for the moment, this is where we're at. So I am in the West at the moment. Huna Watawaho is in the East. Huna Himanakuya is in the South. And Huna Makoro currently is in the North. So let us just take a moment. I'm going to call this in. Thank you. So today we'll speak a little bit about what our theme is, which is an ode to joy, and really speaking about what is an ode, shall we ask? What is an ode? So, an ode actually is a poem that is meant to be sung. It is also something that shows respect or celebrates the worth or influence of something, which today happens to be joy. So, why this theme? We'll explore this.
Freezing.
Ode to Joy is a poem by Friedrich Schiller, and it was put to music by Beethoven in 1824. So we're going to speak more to this. We would first like to open up our sacred circle with the login and the karakira, and that will be led by Huna Watawaho. I'll turn that over to you. Please join us if you know the login.
Yes. Thank you, Kim.
Yep.
You can repeat after me if you want to, or just listen. Ma, first light. Ha, first breath. Ka, first birth. Wa, first love. Ta, first stone. He, first fire. Mahaka watahita wakaha mahaka watahita wakaha mahaka watahi makatai makatai tai 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 tai. Sa. I tengua. In the name of Te Toire, vibration, Te Au Au, frequency, Te Wana, energy, Vairua Tapu, we remember you. Sa. I Tengua, in the name of Te Whenua, the land, Te Rani, the sky, Te Katau, the water, Vairua Tapu, we remember you. Sa. I Tengua, in the name of Te Whaia, mother, Te Matua, father, Te Tama, the child, Una, the light, Vairua Tapu, we remember you. Sa. Tie, Maori, ora. Karatia, me te haaremaine, te aroa, te mana, me te kaha, me te ihi, me te matarana, te moyo, te mana o nawa, e tuakanai, 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 whaireko, 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 o te hiritanga, o te tinana, me te wairoa, me te hinenaro, me te matarana, a huna, 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 ina, 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 unra, inoa, ina tau, ni marana, ni marana, ni marana. Welcome.
I felt that energy. Thank you so much. As an ode to joy, this is a poem, as I mentioned, that was written by Friedrich Schiller. It's a long poem, though, so we're not going to go through the whole long poem, but Huna Makoro is going to give us and gift us with the essence of what this is and what this means. And I turn the time over to you, Huna.
Greetings, everyone. I invite you to listen to the introductory words of Schiller's poem. I'll do my best to speak the German under tutelage of Kahasuhi. Here goes. Freude, schöner, guter Funken, tragt aus Elysium, Würde, betreten, feiertrunken, himmlische, dein Heiligtum, deinen Zuber binden wieder, was die Mode streng geteilt. Alle Menschen werden Brüder, wurden Sanktwert, Flügelwelt. And now I invite you to listen to some of the words that were interpreted by other lyricists, including Van Dyck. And if you may be one of the people who had this hymn sung at the wedding, that would be joy. Let the words wash over you, in you, through you. It is a very wonderful message for the moment here. Joyful, joyful we adore thee, shining glory full of love, hearts unfold like a cloud before thee, opening to the sun above, melt the clouds of fear and sadness, drive the hot dust that doubt away. Giver of immortal gladness, fill us with the light of day. All your works with joy will out you. Earth and heaven reflect your rays. Stars cower, motus swing around you, center of unbroken praise. Field and forest, vale and mountain, flowery meadow, flashing sea, chanting bird and flowing fountain, praising you eternally. Curb the storm of human passion, calm in angry, foe invoke, nurturing in quiet fashion, kindly thought of fellow folk, making every land a neighbor, friendly as if kin by birth, one and the many in common labor, working for a better earth. All we join the mighty chorus which the morning stars began. Loving light is raining o'er us, joining people hand in hand. Ever singing, move we forward, victory in midst of strife. Joyful music leads us sunward in triumphant Son of life. One in all undoing and forgiving, ever blessing, ever blessed. Bring the wellspring joy of living, ocean depth of happy rest. Mother, father, sister, brother, all who live in love will shine. Teach us how to love each other. Lift us to a joy divine.
There we go. I had you mute. I was muted. That was so beautiful. I just wanted to sing up and break out in song, and then I thought I could have Huna Makoro sing to me all night long. That's how I felt. Thank you so much. There is an honoring. I'm sure many of you can feel the energies that are building. It's been building for some time. We've gone through a lot of different spaces on the roller coaster, haven't we? The dips and the ups and the dips. And some of us, an honoring just really where we all are in our respective places, right? Because we're not all on the same part of the roller coaster. We could be in the dips and we could be at the top. But I feel like we are absolutely coming through. We are in an opening. And, we just had the lunar eclipse. We had the equinox, the spring.
You're
Depending on where
freezing,
you are in the
Kim.
world. Uh-oh. There we are. Sorry. I think it's Friday, or we have the upcoming solar eclipse. So we're bit of a passageway right now. But there is this opening, and we're going to be speaking more to this opening. And I don't know about you, Kuyas. How's your joy level right now?
It's quite high, I think. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good vibes
Yeah.
here, always, Kuyas.
Despite what's going on
I
in the
thought what
world.
we do is, yeah, I thought maybe we could start out sharing a little bit about what it is that we're currently in joy with. And started out with Huna Himana Kuya. Michelle, you could share a little bit. What is lighting your fire these days?
Well, you got the he. The he is the fire, and that's taking action and just living and just being in nature has been fabulous. I've got the beautiful sunshine right now, the beautiful blue skies with the few puffy white clouds, and just the feeling with these shifts that are going on right now and in this Schumann resonance, we are really rising. And it is just so joyful. And that's what we're talking about today is the joy to be alive in these exciting times, because we are in a time that has never been before and probably will never be again in our particular choices of incarnations. But the joy that we have right now and the excitement that's all around us is just, it's amazing. We do not have the words in the English language to describe the feeling, but the contentment that I feel, I cannot say anything. Even with we have to have our one foot in the 3D world, in the matrix, and we're dealing with all of that. But that just comes and goes, and it's all I see are solutions and positivity. I don't see the negative in anything anymore. It's just a marvelous time to be alive, and the feeling is just fabulous.
That's
and
awesome.
I want to say that I feel the Council of Grandmothers with us, and they're guiding us, and they put us here for a reason. And you brought up about the four corners of the northeast, southwest. In Lemurian terms, we deal with the frequencies. So we're not dealing with northeast, southwest as much as we are with the frequencies that are on those lines. And it's all coming together. It's a never-ending circle that just has no beginning, no end, and it's infinite, as are we. And it's just a time to take all of that in and enjoy, because there's so much to be joyful for.
You got anything upcoming right now that's exciting you?
Just living every moment in the moment is exciting for me. And I'm just doing that and being with you, other Kuyas. It is just fabulous because we're all sharing our perspective of the joy that we're all feeling. And we can just combine that, because once we put any thought, it's out there. The frequency takes over. It's in the collective consciousness, and it's going to all parts of the world. And, all we're doing is talking of joy today. We're spreading that joy, and it's being picked up worldwide.
Doesn't it feel just palpable? I mean, I feel like it's just these energies, not only for creative, like our creative projects. So one of the things I would like you all to think about is, what is it that you're going to be bringing to the world? What excites you enough that you would like to share that, right? Because that is something that continues to refine, at least in me. What is it that I want to do? What was is now not longer any what's moving forward, right? It's changed and it's always refining itself. I got my hands in a bunch of a bunch of creative projects. But I just feel like the opening and this passageway that we're in is in many areas. I mean, we're seeing this in the financial, we're seeing it, of course, in truth, right? And what's being unmasked, shall we say. And finally, these things are coming to light. So we have a lot to be grateful for. It's not always easy to see and sit in the energies, though. I have been counseled many times to choose wisely where my energy is going at this time. This passageway, I feel like, it's more important than we think because we're making decisions, and we don't really want to have too much disturbance in the field in making and keeping our vibration right high enough so that that's where our creative potential is. We create when we're in joy. And so what is it that keeps you in joy? We'll ask that question, Himana Kuya.
I believe that, well, number one, we can create when we have love in our hearts.
Yeah.
And if we put all of humanity first and get out of self and do what's best for others, we always have choices. And if we feel it in ourselves, you're always going to feel if there's a hardness in your chest, there's a little blockage, that's probably not the choice you should make. But we have freedom of choice, and there is no right and wrong. So we deal with the choices we make, we accept the choices we make, and we find positive outcomes and solutions. We don't have to look at anything negatively because it's all a learning experience. And everything that I learn, I realize I know nothing. The more I learn, the more I don't know. And I'm just so excited about learning more. And yes,
Yeah.
the veils are being removed, and we are seeing much, much more than we ever have before. And it's only going to continue and get better. I am so looking forward to the time when we are able to meet all of those in the formless, all of our galactic brethren that are here helping us and with us at all times. The possibilities are infinite and the opportunities are infinite. And I find joy in just knowing that we are going to be blessed with getting to know all of the things that we haven't seen before and haven't remembered. It's not that we don't know, we know. It's just that we've been blocked and we're not remembering. Yeah. But we are remembering more and more as we continue on this line. And I think in terms of creation, there are so many opportunities. We are going to be so blessed. We are already blessed. We have abundance. We have abundance in health. We have abundance in wealth. And it's coming back to us where Matea, the Mother Earth, is being restored and revitalized and purified because she's been so contaminated. But we have all of these mother energies and all of our father energies because it's mother, father that do all the creation. And we are the creators from our parents, our mother, father. Yeah. And we are out to do the same thing. But we need to come from a point of love to create things. And everything we should create is to benefit all of humanity. For we are Huna. We are one of the many many of the one. We're all interconnected. We are one.
Yeah.
The law of one exists. And as we accept that, we're going to move forward in such a beautiful paradise. It's already enveloping us.
Absolutely. Love it. Watawaho, I know you've been on a little bit of an adventure. You want to share with us what you've been up to?
I would love to. We had a mission here in Norway, well, in area of Oslo, in a mental hospital called Blakstad. Yes, not yesterday, but Friday the 21st, which is the equinox here, and a very, very potent day to do these things. So we had a mission. Many Hunas had missions all over the world. And I'm very thankful for those who connected with us in spirit and with their logins. Thank you. And I have Kahasahi, you have a little video, if you wouldn't mind to play that first. It's 4.5 minutes, if it's possible. Are you there, Kahasahi? I'm waiting.
Yeah, just give me a little moment.
I will give you a
I have
little
to
moment.
unmute myself, and then
Mm,
I'm
It's
doing the
okay.
screen. I'm doing the screen share thing for the
Yeah,
first time.
I
So I need
can
to figure
see.
it
I
out.
can speak to my what's making me joyful in the meantime.
Yeah.
And when I'm with, no, we'll take the video. Good.
You seeing it now?
Yeah, we are.
Very good. So
Transmutation for the Blakstad Mental Hospital. Remove all items, reproach, It is muted now, that video. Descendants of all Huna
now?
human,
Yep.
all human and all souls, that freedom and liberation that have been harmed of all distortion of these atrocities. We want the transcendence, freedom, vision. Du hade en intention.
Slutt på alle forbrytelser og krenkelsesaskursjoner. Inntrengning og mind vibes. Og all form for maktmisbruk og overgrep. Slutt med det. Så.
Det er faktisk veldig veldig. Men det er noen har noe å si om det samme her. Flytta band till computern. Ta tillbaka all energi som de hade tagit på. Och att all energi som har blivit tatt på computern blir av Blakstad till Oppheva alle kontakter med computern och andra entiteter som har varit involverade i energiutskifting av behovet.
Chihei, Maori, Ora. Un, ul, au, ep, to, no, e, nu, ep, ma, il, ai. Ta. Uruha, 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 uruha. Ka, ina, ka, ina, ina, ka, ina, ina, ka, ina, ka, ka. Mahakawata hita wakahama. Mahakawata hita wakahama. Mahakawata hita wa makta 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 dai 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 dai.
Yeah, I think we are good there. We got a lot of geese visiting, and when I spoke the very, very, very low tones of the 5 root races, and it's a very, very grounding back to the when we were giants on this Mother Matea, as I call her now. And then they came just swiping over us, and it was an honor, I must say. And we had the beautiful Kotahara, around 6 buildings there, and it was 3 hours of work. So we had a good intentions there to undo all of the distortion. And this place, the Black Star Mental Hospital, has a connection to the royal house in this Norway country. So we did not, we did undo that. And we also netted the whole area into the net of Maui together with the Oslo mission. And we had a mission on Utøya. And I would love to call in Vapuahi, Huna Vapuahi, who was also present with me for 2 days ago, and together with a beautiful male, Huna Anna, who is also with us. So I thank you both for coming. You can unmute. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
So thank you very much for allowing me into the group of grandmothers.
Mm.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome. That's awesome
Yeah.
to hear you and see you. It's just amazing. I just feel this strong energy.
Thank you.
Definitely, you know.
Yeah.
So it's good
Well,
to
it's
be here. So thank you
yeah.
very much.
It was a quite powerful mission that we did. We were only 3, but it was very balanced, wasn't it? And you are also a kuya, a grandmother, Vapuahi.
Yeah.
It's very nice to go to missions with you, because we are so filling out each other, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we have a great time when we do it. This one, you know, it was pretty heavy energy around there, of course. You can imagine being a mental hospital for so long. So I think we did a great job cleansing out
Yeah,
those
we really
things.
did.
Yeah,
Mm.
so I think they will feel it, those who are inside too, eventually. And eventually
Definitely.
changes will happen, you know.
Changes, it will happen. We also had a very powerful crystal inside one of the buildings. And
Right.
it's a 12-faceted clear crystal with 2 pointers. and it was also spread with Kotahara inside. And yeah, it was very heavy energies. And you saw something when we did the mother's vessel, Wapuahi. What happened in your vision?
Let me see.
You saw something flying up from this. We
Oh
stepped on
yeah,
bulb.
yeah,
Mm,
definitely.
mm,
I got this image of a lot
yeah,
of black birds or some black creatures kind of flying up from the ground, up from the whole place, up to the light, and they disappeared. It's a huge amount of them, blackbirds. That was the image I got. Very instant, very, very clear. Yeah, that that came to me. So
yeah.
that
And we
fit pretty
also,
well, I think.
yeah, we also called out the archon codes of Pakeha, which is the distortion of our minds. And that's not only in mental hospitals, it's all over the world. I mean, it's all of humans.
Yeah.
All of us are affected by this human consciousness, vibe of consciousness, vibe of all our thoughts. We are not consenting to this anymore. Now we can see what's going on,
Yeah.
Right.
right? And we
It's
have to speak
so
up now.
I think
Kuyas.
it's so important to see that we are protected, 100% protected at all times, and that we focus on joy in our lives, just like we do in this meeting tonight. So it's a big job to kind of cleanse the world now, but we have already won if we are talking about winning here.
Yeah, right.
The light is all over. It's what we see is just the big theater. So
Yeah, but still we have to do the job, right? We have to do this. And that's why we do our missions. And I
yes,
brought a dragon egg, which was in the middle of our blanket there. And that is connected to Kahasahi and all of her dragon eggs and all of what we did in Amsterdam, Dark Tunnel mission to Headed Snake. It's connected to all of I think the black dragon has landed. And yes, please show the beautiful pictures there. They are amazing. Like you, Vapuahi, with the sun down there. It's so beautiful. This is the view of my house and some of the crystals, and my little cat was present. And yes, and after the mission, okay, that's some of the codes in the sky there. Today, I took some pictures. This is actually an orb that was in the sky, a big orb from the sun. If you take next picture, we can say, yeah, and that's the sun. And there was then an orb under the sun today. There's a lot of confirmations already coming in. Orbs, dragons in the sky, and the sun was amazing. And there was many, many orbs like violets. There was, yeah, you can perhaps see it if you have Kahasahi, or that's
Yeah.
the white dragon. Actually, if you can do full screen Kahasahi, you can even see it better. No, it's good.
Yeah.
But it's a picture
I
of the
can't do
white
any
dragon.
better. I'm sorry.
It's good. It's good.
mm.
Yeah, it was a dragon eye orb. Thank you, Richard Osterman. It was a dragon eye orb. Sure it was. Yeah.
Yep.
Good to see that. Yeah.
You know, what's
So-
interesting too is that when we do our missions and we log in, and in essence, yes, we are bringing it back to pure intention, right, to the 0 point. But you know, it's like we underestimate what we do to transmute these energies, right? Because even just our intentions, and as we bring joy into spaces, as the conversations happen, just our very presence of it, these transmute it. Just by us speaking about it now is what's transmuting it. So we speak to formal things, which we do, but I just want everyone to know that you're being here on the planet Earth with us. We're all together. As we speak to it, you know, this is what we're doing. In essence, this is how we're alchemizing those energies, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Tess here is writing that he went to talk to the dragon on his 60th birthday. That's
Wow.
so amazing. Thank you, Tess. That's
Yeah.
nice. And we were speaking a little bit on the video. We were speaking Norwegian. We had our intentions of these things. We are transmuters. Yes, we are transmuters. That's for sure. We are so powerful at this moment. And I could see in the sky today, wow, it's really, 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 there's no veil. I mean, wow,
Yeah.
we can see it all going on now. We can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Be-
totally
So-
agree with you that we all are doing an amazing job, you know, cleansing out these energies that need to go now.
You know, Vapuahi, you are my favorite Huna in Norway.
Yeah, and you are the same for
And-
me, so we are a good team.
We are a good team, that's for sure. And I'm sending my blessings to Elin, who went to the Utaya with us. Yeah, in the autumn. But I have a little Norwegian song while I'm still on here, so I can be quiet afterwards. So one of my joyful moments is when I'm singing to my grandchildren or singing to children in general. And now I'll present that one in Norwegian. Nå skinner sola i vinduskarmen, og katta maler som aldri før. Den ligger langstrakt og kjenner varmen, og er ei katte med godt humør. Hei sann, og tullejatten tei for sola, og deg er meg sann.
Wanted to dance.
Thank you.
So awesome. I love it. I love the sharing. So I think this would be a good time to Kahasahi to do a little bit of an intermission, and then we can come back and finish up some sharings with Makoto and myself and the audience. Oh, welcome back, everybody.
I just wanted to say something when talking about the joy and how you wanted to start dancing. Our Pleiadian brothers and sisters, that's how they live. They live with the music, the dancing, and the joy, and finding joy in every moment that they exist. And yes, they're always on a learning and ascension program, but the joy is what keeps them propelled into that. And the music helps, and the dancing. And we don't have to dance according to what we've been so called taught. And we don't have to sing the way we have been so called taught. Sing in the shower, sing what you do feel, dance how you feel, and just move to the music and just be joyful.
Yeah, love it. Hunamakoro, what have you been up to? I know you've been traveling. What has been bringing you joy lately?
Oh, yes. I was pondering this question because a lot of people ask me, Lynn, how do you smile in light of everything going on in the world? And the beauty of being able to travel, and it wasn't none of these trips, not one, and I've been quite a few places in the last year, not one was initiated by me. It's someone invited me to come.
Ooh.
So I looked at that and said, my intentions have been to travel, but the destination was determined by others. And so I took the opportunity to really think about why the timing is now for me to do this. I I went to South Africa, for instance, a tabletop mountain, which is one of the destinations I've always wanted to go to. And then there was the opportunity, and I was there. And I did a safari with the animals. And, you know, and it's not like walking into a park here. It's real danger. For instance, we were sleeping um, under a baboon troop every night. And the night after we left, one of the baboons was killed because cheetah had come through the camp and had a few nights while we were there. And the night after we left, it attacked us at juvenile. You know what I mean? So it was a real taste of life in its rawness, that experience. It's funny that in the midst of all of these tools, I'm just a newly anointed, I'll put it that way, Huna. And yet it is something that I've known all my life because it's not whatever your essence is speaking to. You don't have to know it. Everyone has an essence. And that is what has really become apparent to me. So the key in every time I've gone through the dark night of the soul, sorry, soil is interesting because that's part of the remedy. But
Yeah.
the the dark night of the soul has been because I've been disconnected from the soil. That is, each of these places I have a connection to. And as soon as I touch the ground, as actually long before, when I'm in the sky above the ground, I feel at home. And and I have really understood that there are truths about just being that transcend all things that we think we know through school. Um, when you're a child, you have all sorts of questions. And somehow the school systems that we have developed expunge those from us. Children are supposed to be seen, not heard. And oh, I don't have time for all those questions. And many times it's because the adults don't know the answers instead of being inquisitive and curious along with the child and saying, let's discover, let's find out. Where can we go to find out? What can we do? How can we use your imagination? We've been cut off, and that is the big disconnect of the time. So when people ask me, how can I feel joy? It's because I have reconnected. I have understood each time I've been the face the terrible challenges of life, because who hasn't? um, but I'm here and I'm through them and I've learned. And what the question is, I always ask myself as I come through, what did I learn so I don't have to go through that again? I think that's the key. If you're going to constantly repeat the same mistakes, it's because you haven't yet got the lesson. And so I look at it, and every time I face a challenge, I've just graduated. Oh my God. Yay. Let's celebrate. And I celebrate even if nobody else understands. I have understood that this feeling of being uprooted as a child was because a lot has been hidden from us in terms of the truth about our place in the universe and why we're here and what we're doing. And so I've been a truth seeker. And as I discovered all these new truths, and then it's interesting because I have an inkling that that's the way it is. And then I go and find the answers. And as I find and discover the answers, it's like, oh, good. So I wasn't off the wrong path. And and then if I'm not quite right, then I'll go, oh, well, okay, not quite there. What else can I discover? And so to me, this is where we're at. We're in a journey of discovery. The best thing to do is to get back to a place where you can feel creation and the rhythm of life. The missions to my homeland, my home island, and to the mainland, this time it was Costa Rica, was that when you're looking from the Caribbean islands, you just think of your island. And unless you're near the sea, you don't think of the sea. When I went to the coast and I was looking back at my islands, all the people that I was meeting there basically were saying, "You're home." And it was really interesting because I did ceremony for the volcanoes. I did ceremony for the healing waters, for the undoing of the history that is not right. And it's a detriment to everyone not to know the truths. So in being there, I was able to say, I remember you. I remember you. I remember being here. I remember the connectedness. I remember how we used to be. And even when you go to the cities of these places that you think are paradise, no, the people, it's a whole other world. It's the cities. It's us being in an artificial construct where people don't care for each other. That's what disconnects us. If you're fortunate to be in a part of the world where you can feel the land and the sky and see the stars, it really is a grounding. And then you see the cosmos and you know that, oh, I'm small, but I'm mighty and I'm large. I am part of it all. Do you know what I mean? I am part of everything. And that's why I can feel the joy, because each time I travel, I'm reconnected again. I'm rooted again. I'm finding the truths that go deep in that we all are humans and we really should care for each other. So as I was meeting people, say on a flight when they wanted to talk, and we would connect, sometimes very quickly, I'd say, okay, I'm doing a little project here. You don't even have to be on social media. Don't worry, I'm not going to post it. But I want to show people that within a moment, you can connect with somebody. So we might talk for 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 15. And so let's do a selfie. And as I was reviewing the selfies that I've taken in the last year, I will never see these people again. And yet, in that moment, we were one. And of all stripes, colors, shapes, sizes, a lot of youth um, just would find my presence calming and soothing. And um, I got to say, there is joy for me to be able to say, you will make it if you believe in yourself. What do you want to do? This is the time to create your life because it's only you that can do it. What do you want? It's not what the world wants, but what gifts do you have to bring to the world? And that's the discovery. And so I am joyful because to me, all the lives that I've ever lived are available to me. The good, the bad, the ugly. I've learned things. I don't have to repeat things. I can bring forward all the skills I need. Music, for instance. I just sing. I sing and always have. And I've sung semi professionally, but I was never trained. It's just because it's a joy of singing. And I joined a group that loved to sing. And that's, I think, our mission right now to connect with those that we resonate with. It is about frequency. Let me remind you this is Om. I don't know if you can hear it.
Yep.
That's Om. This is the throat. You heard it earlier. We use our voice, the upper and the lower jaw. Mauta's message very strongly in the last few months was upper and the lower become the balance, be grounded. And I think that's sort of summarizes why, despite everything that the world is doing, and trust me, our politics are horrible, and yet I could say, finally, things are being exposed. Now, what is the human race going to do about it? And I'm hoping that my presence and all my intentions and all the undoings and all of the codes that we have will help to accelerate that, because we need to move it out of the way so that the young people can create the world they want, which I know I talk to so many. They want good things. It's time.
Yes. You know, it's interesting this last couple of weeks, as I've been thinking about this topic and, you know, our humanitarian projects and you know, it's wonderful to think about what that is, and to visualize what it is that you want to bring forth. But I found myself in the last few weeks really grounding that in the sense of writing it out, because we can think about these things, but until we get a plan going, right? Until we actually write some things down, might look like, and then take some action around it, even if it's in a little bit of action, the universe will respond to you in that way. Now, so some of the things that, like for myself, so I'm a healer. I mean, a lot of us are healers, but I'm opening up I have two other partners that are opening up a healing center where I live in Michigan. This has kind of been in the plans for like 2 years. It's been in the plans, in the works, mostly because we were wanting to have a building and we had a specific building in mind. And it was a very large building because we were gathering other members in the community in the same space. And then after, I would say it broke around Christmas time, that we wanted to do something smaller because that building was taking too long. We were like, this is taking too long. And we were just going to go and found a different alternate space. And so now this is coming online. You know, now this is the fun part, because now it's all about, we've got the space, sign the lease. Now it's the fun of the creating the space, which I really love. So this is really, we'll be doing this at probably opening up in I would say late April, early May. There's another Huna who also has an EE, energy enhancement system, which is what our healing center is going to highlight for healing. But I know for myself that this is it's a small part. I mean, yes, it's happening and it's happening rather soon, but I actually have some bigger plans, because I have a much bigger, I feel like it's like a complex. as I am in meditation and when I think about it, it's not a small thing, which makes me a little bit nervous because I have no idea. But I do know that I've done these things before because I can feel it. I can feel I've done it before. And if I can feel it, then I can lean into it. And I can do it a bit by bit. So now it might be drawing out some things, right? It might be what might it look like? And, kind of go from there and kind of getting and hooking myself in to other forums and communities online. Because, we may not live in spaces where we've got people who are like-minded. And so get into those communities, right, that you can find yourself drawn to and plug yourself in that way. But, even in the last couple of weeks, as I was thinking about this, because as we know, disclosure are you listen, social media can just be like a dead weight. It has its gifts, right? And it's, it can do the other thing too. So I was thinking about how to navigate this. And it's, I haven't listened to Tamake and Kasahi's Oracle, Blackbird Oracle program. And so I'm really anxious to touch base with what that is because I feel like there's a lot of what I'm about to share. I don't know really why I feel that way because I haven't listened to the program. But what I wanted to share, and I wasn't really super hesitant because I know when I get inspired to do something, I'm supposed to share it. Sometimes we really hold back, and be like, no. But this morning, as I was in meditation and I was thinking, I was connecting in with Mauta. And because I know that as we are in this circle with all of you, what messages might he have? What is something that I just asked for his presence to be there, and to guide. And I asked him, can please I have a sign so that I know that you've heard my request. And I've had enough experience now. I'm sure many of you that if you ask the universe for something, it's going to respond to you. For me, it's like synchronicity. So I was like, okay, numbers. I like 444. You can show up in a 444 number. You can show up in a hummingbird form somewhere on my social media. I don't care how it is, right? So I left my phone for a little while and I came back to it and I was on my feed and I'm not even 5 minutes on my feed and I see, because it was like probably a tarot reading of someone who I follow. But what was one of the main cards was a hummingbird. And I was
Can
like,
anyone hear Kim?
oh, can you hear me?
Oh.
Okay. So I had seen a hummingbird already, and already I knew that this was Mauta confirming that he was here. So I decided to pursue this a little further. Can you hear? Am I hearing? Okay, good. So I decided to kind of sit with this and ask Mauta some questions. And I'm just going to read to you some of the things that I heard and I wrote. And you can take this as you would like, resonate. If it resonates, right, great. And if not, then leave the rest. It's fine. I'm just going to some phrases because I don't want to really interpret it because it's not my place to interpret it. And I really don't want it to go through the Tarakuya filter. So here's what I heard. To cut something out. Be careful where your energy is going to. A pathway is being opened to you and for you, and you are protected. Clarity will be given to you, and there is a divine messenger. I heard the words to retreat, to recharge, and to stay in your lane. I also heard, look more after yourself because we are in a passageway. We are in a stargate. I specifically heard the words, I had the ability to heal others, but not myself. So be in right relationship with yourself. So a pathway is right for you. Just make the choice and get still. Take time out to get the information. Let go of something to get something. What are you not following? What are you prioritizing? What is holding you back? Is there someone in the way, or is something in the way of following your heart's desire? Some will know what you are preserving. There is a shift. So this is what my message was. We can all take those questions, those thoughts and phrases and the essences of this and apply this. And I was just in a lot of gratitude because, you know, when you know about what your purpose is, you know, that does lead to your heart's joy, and you just need to act upon it, you know. And sometimes that does mean a cutting away of things, because you need to prioritize and really live in devotion to that. And that can sometimes be difficult, what to prioritize. And a lot of this is falling away now, because those things that are no longer serving us have to fall away, because the passage and the place where we are going, that we are in, those things that don't serve us will not be allowed in, you know. So anyway, so that's basically all I wanted to share. I'm so happy that the Hunas could share what's been in their joy. I wanted to open up for any questions or answers, or anyone who would like to come onto the screen, because we know how we do it here in the House of Huna. We need to see your essence and see who you are. I believe Kahasahi is in the back, so she could, if someone can bring in the link for that to go into the chat.
I will do that.
Okay, perfect. If there's any questions or anything that you guys are involved in, what are you gearing up towards? What's on your heart? I'd love to hear what people are at. I know that there are a lot of people who are kind of waiting. They have it in their minds what they want to do, and when the financial abundance, which we know is already around us, right? We do know, but when it's actually coming down in the physical form, that will really open up a lot of spaces, you know, to make action in different ways. But there are still actions that you can take now, you know. I mean, even for myself, when I wasn't sure, when I was kind of waiting on other things, I started to create a website, right? I mean, I don't have to go live with the website, but I can start creating the website. And again, when you do those things, the universe responds. Someone will come into your field, you know. You'll have a conversation, you know, and next thing you know, hi, Terry.
Hello.
What's bringing you joy?
Terry? Terry, maybe you mute your YouTube.
Oh yeah, no, I gotta turn the screen. Sorry.
Terry?
Hang on a minute.
Good.
Wasn't me. Oh yeah, no, I gotta.
There you go.
I found it. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Oh God, I look crazy.
That's what happens when you get on the screen.
Hello from England, anyway.
Hello. Across the pond.
Wherever you are.
Wherever you are. That's right.
Sorry, I'm drinking wine. Apparently, Jesus thought it was a good idea. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Oh,
what's on your heart?
Well, no, you just popped up the thing, and I thought, well, I'll give it a pop, see if it works.
It works.
I've been commenting quite a bit in your thing, but I'm as Tez Brooks, not Terry, in the chat.
Oh yes.
So obviously, I did actually go out yesterday and have an interesting day, which makes a change. It gave me a bit of encouragement to get out of the depressed pit I was in.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you ladies understand that world.
Yeah.
It don't look as good as it should.
Yeah. So how do you bring yourself out of it? I mean, I think this is where you find the things in your life. It can be small steps. Yeah.
You just have to mix it up, innit? Sort of go out bollocks. I'm going to do something random. Does that make sense?
Yes. Do you know sometimes when we get into a certain routine, we go to the same way. If you're going into town, right, or go the same route, and you're pretty ingrained in the same route, and you change your route, right, and you're creating a different pathway, and that's sometimes all it takes.
Yeah, you just got to change course sometimes, isn't it? You go, bugger, I'm going that way instead of that way.
Yeah.
It's forcing me that way, so I'm going to go that way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm not going to go the way they want me to go. I'm going to go the way I want to go.
You know what? Sometimes when I do that, I suddenly run into somebody and they'll tell me, I was just thinking about you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and
when I say sometimes, it happens a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, I got the call because I'm here.
You're going to ring someone and they go, I was just thinking about you.
Yeah, exactly.
that sort of stuff. Wow.
I would say even too that sometimes I get intentional with it. I'm going to go somewhere. I'm going to go, please bring me someone to talk to, right? I mean, I become intentional and become interactive with what it is that I'm desiring. So if I need to meet someone, I'm going to go that way. Please place someone there, inspire them, right? To go that way as well, to co-create that way intentionally.
God. I look really weird, but I'm looking at my video on the time lag and it looks really weird. I look like a fucking idiot now.
Well, do you have any things coming up that you're looking forward to?
No, I haven't got any plans whatsoever, which is really scary. It's like, oh God. Well, obviously, but my next plan is walk the dog when she wants to go out. But other than that, I ain't got a lot to do.
You're living in the now.
Well, yeah. You never know. You might not see tomorrow.
That's true.
What makes you feel joy, Terry?
When I see children looking at me and smiling at me and they're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a few kids look at me yesterday and they were all happy. And I was happy that they were happy. I probably look like a bit of a freak though, because I look like I'm drunk, I'm drunk all the time, but I'm not actually drunk. But I'm heavily dosed up on painkillers and shit. So I don't know.
Well, I'd say then, sometimes it's like the dog, my dog is someone who, whether I feel like going out or not, he's gonna enforce the idea that I'm taking him out.
They
right?
take you for a walk, not you take them for a walk.
Correct. That is true. But sometimes sometimes it takes another being. They're in your life for a reason, and they get
If
you
it
moving.
wasn't for my dog, I would be here.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we saw grateful, Terry, that you popped on to say hi.
All right.
Do something spontaneous today. Do something joyful and spontaneous.
I think he just did.
Yeah.
I did. I'll come on here.
Excellent. Love it.
Well, thanks for having me, ladies. I love you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Richard.
Hey, Richard.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I have good news too. I wanted to share that.
Please.
But I'm going to fix my headphones just because I got neighbors and I want to not yell so everyone hears. But I want to hear you guys clearly. I had my surgery back in January, and for what was holding me back for 2 years was that hernia mesh, and I don't know if I've talked about it on the show, but got my surgery and I got the feeling back in my leg, and I got my use of my left leg back to normal, or getting there, more normal. I started running yesterday a little bit with my dog, and I feel like I'm kind of like blessed all the time. Because every step I take is like, oh, I don't have my cane, I don't have the pain, I feel good. So yeah, everything is every step is a good thing. I did kind of, when we lost Flash, when his light went out for us to see here, I didn't know what was happening. I kind of was in my own background and like hearing feeling something. And I know Flash, he's a shaman, and there's lessons of shamans that they each have to learn as they are shamans. And you said something about that he couldn't heal himself. And that is because his lesson to know is that you are doing it to yourself. So you don't have to you have to undo you have to undo what you think is important, and you have to look at your pain and let the tears come for your own understanding. Is that there's other shaman lessons that you probably don't want either, like you can't heal everyone. Because that's not your job, that's their path. You have to honor their path as much as you honor your own. So you are, you may not be able to save the ones you love and want to save. It is their path to go on from that experience in their own way. I know QHHT. I met Dolores Cannon and I took her course like 13 or 14 years ago. All that stuff is practically like you don't need the hypnosis. It's all working out accordingly to your lessons. And the understanding to get from it is, when we plan this on the soul side, for what loving reason did you want to have this experience to expand your love and from it and grow more? So what is the higher purpose or the loving reason that you did this to yourself? And if you can't look at that in that way, you will never look at it and understand why you have the pain to take it and face it. When I deal with clients with the hypnosis and they get their healing or their understanding, there's a lot of pain that comes out and they can't face it while they're awake. So I take them into the dream state, the theta level. I'm a dream walker. I walk into other people's dreams and I walk through it with them, and I go through everything with them, even the death experience and even to the other side of that death experience. And you really have to have nerves of steel to do that with a patient client, because it's hard to hear what they're going through. And you take them through that. Dolores Cannon was an amazing lady. She was a grandmother like yourselves, and she had it in her she was doing this with her grandchildren. So why would you not want to take that same idea with it? Was that they could view it, if there was pain or something, that the death experience, if they were going to be killed in a painful way, and the client in the hypnosis does not want to, they're struggling on the bed or on the couch, and you can see they're tossing and turning. You have them observe it like a detached observer, and it will not bother them mentally or physically. But you leave the emotional part in there. You don't take away the emotional part. You leave, but it won't bother them mentally or physically. And so we can look at it now. And then they go through that experience and they will tell you exactly what's happening. And then I keep them there until someone finds the body, and we take care of that in a loving way or whatever happens. And you're counseling this person through the death experience the whole time. You have to be able to do that. I didn't know that at first. I had clients that would die in a horrific way, or say a traumatic way that was very sad, and I couldn't move them past the graveyard or the situation, and they kept coming back to it. And then I remembered, okay, well, we're all made from light, so Earth is made from light too, but it's a low vibrational light. And if a person dies of low vibration, they're attracted to the low vibration. It's nothing, just normal, natural kind of. It feels like home to them. You know, they're happy, they're comfortable in their misery, as we say sometimes. But they are sad, so I have to counsel them to find the brightness in something or the deeper understanding of it. And once they see that, then we ask them if they could see the light or something, and then they move on to the light, and we can go on to the other side. I mean, you could spend a lot of time there, but she gave us a technique to call in permission to speak to the higher self.
Yep.
And once a person is that deep under the hypnosis and on the other side of a death experience, you ask to speak to the higher self, and then you get all the answers that they want. You just ask the questions and have a normal conversation with the higher self with the deepest respect, and they will get their answers to that pain and their healing.
Yeah, you know, there's several of us here. I know Watawaho does QHHT.
Yes.
I also do past life regression as well. So I know of what you're speaking of as well.
Yeah.
Preaching to the choir.
No, but it's so important, Richard, what you are saying, because we have had all these incarnations, and each time we incarnate, it's to learn something that we specifically want to experience. And so we have to go through that. And some of us need to get rid of the pain that we had in the previous life to move on to the next one. But no, it's so important what you're saying, and thank you for sharing all of that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I appreciate being back on. I kind of miss Flash too, but I'm kind of like, I know when I think about him, he's right here, you know, and I know I can have conversations with him and he's answering right back. It's not that thick of a veil right now. And you know what, those answers that you do get back, that's not you, that's him. You feel that essence in there, and it will teach you as well. But I want to be taught some more. I want to learn more too. I need to start. I like what you ladies are doing. I like that you have the tools to do what you're doing, and I like that you're bringing the vibration up to the areas that we need to look at. Our mental institutions, for one of them. I don't know if I shared this or not, but I've known about electric shock therapy since I was 3.5. I knew what it did. I actually asked my mother because they were threatening. My brother heard them talking about it, and he's a year older. And I was like 2.5, learning how to talk. So I'd talk to my older brother. He already had sentences, right? I was trying to get all the words together. So he was kind of teaching me how to talk at night, or essentially I wouldn't shut up when we went to bed, and I would talk to him. But he would say to me, like, they're going to lock you up if you don't shut up. And I was like, that's not going to stop me from talking. Oh, okay. Well, they're going to give you drugs. They're going to give you drugs if you don't stop talking about the other side. Because I was born remembering the other side. So I'd walk up to everyone and say, do you remember the other side? Hey, hey, hey. And then people would be like, no. And they'd be blank, right? They'd be scared. but I was that little kid. And so when they said they're going to give me drugs, I said, no, it's not going to change my thought. I know this is before my birth, and it's not going to change anything that I know. And so when he said they're going to give you electric shock therapy, I said, what's that? And he says, I don't know, but they're going to give it to you. So I was like, oh man, I shut up. And like, if you don't shut up, so I went to sleep and I spent the whole night thinking about what's this electric shock therapy. Well, my mom's a nurse, and nurses like to explain things in a very technical way if you want to ask a question.
Oh boy.
The boys have penises, girls have vaginas. It's all written in books. Here you go. That's how it is explained, right? So anyways, the mother, I went to her in the morning and I pulled on her apron and I said, Mom, what's electric shock therapy? And then she stopped what she was doing on the stove, turned off the stove and sat me down and said, why do you want to know? And I was like, oh, just curious, Mom. What is that? What happens? And so she broke it down for me. They hit you with 30 to 50,000 volts of electricity to create a trauma in the brain that will block a memory from you so that you don't have that thought anymore. And they strap you down and they put something in your teeth so you don't bite your tongue. And I was like, oh, okay. And I said, does it ever fail? What happens if it doesn't work? Oh, they do it again. I was like, what? They do it again? Okay, so, and so if it keeps failing, they keep doing it? Yeah, that's what they do.
That makes sense.
And I was like, oh, my memories predate my birth. They'll have to kill me. I already had the math down thinking I'm not going to get it off that table. So I was like, not talking about it anymore. I was like, shut this thing down, right? Well, I was crossing this busy intersection and I almost got hit by a truck. And there were screeching tires coming up to that moment and I froze. But I had a flash because I was only 3.5, but I had a flash when I was 10 and a car ran me over. And what all happened around on that front yard chasing a ball with these kids. And there was another girl there that I was trying to impress and blah, blah, blah. And I was dead on the road, seeing my body at 10 years old. And I'm 3.5. Trying to step on the curb because my body's frozen in that moment, right? And then I can hear the guy yelling from the truck, get off the road, stupid kid, da, da, da. And I couldn't even see him because of the grill. And so I get onto the curb and I was like, okay, I can tell people about this death experience, but it's a pretty vivid memory. So I think I could share that with some new people. So new neighbors came over and I tried to share it with them, and
how'd that work out?
Everyone was, well, let's just put it this way. I kind of shut up after that, but my mom remembers that moment when I stopped talking about it. And she would remind me of that later in life. She would say, "Hi, I remember when you stopped talking about it." And I said, "Yeah, well, I was scared for my life, Mom." That the look on Dad's face was not the same as yours. My mom was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." My dad was just ready to explode because this kid will not leave the adults alone, right? He's 3.5. What are you doing here? He's Italian, my father. So anyhow, I love them both, and I'm happy to be here, is how I say it. And I'm jazzed to be here always. And those that have gone before us, go ahead, please.
No, I was gonna say, I'm so happy that your surgery went so well, and that you're enjoying this new experiences. I know it's when the vessel is not cooperating, right? And you have the desire to do the things, and then when you can, it just shifts everything for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually just got my first paycheck from working 2 weeks in a lumber yard, working with lumber all day long. So I'm getting back my physical strength too at the same time. So I really appreciate every day, and I mean I appreciate so much more too. And I guess that's also the thing with Flash. He kind of reminds us of the important things too in life, like you were saying. But let's get organized. I agree. Like we got what, 24 more Stargates to go, guys. We got to start thinking about the next one. And let's put that vibe out there and see where it goes. Because, I mean, I like that we're in the middle now, and that sort of tipping point, zero. It's like when the ball is thrown in the air, it pauses for that second. That's when I said when Flash did 24 to 48, he put us on that zero potential line of where do we go from here? And that's up to us. And if that stuff that we know is a million times more powerful than people that are walking around clueless. They'll come along for the ride. We don't have to explain it to them. Pretty soon they'll be like, I thought that always. And and it's like, no, you didn't. But if they won't. Oh, that's the way I always thought. So I think if we kind of just put our energies out there, the vibes will change them without them even being aware of it. They don't need to. We don't have to tell them we're changing the game. We're just going to change it. That's our prerogative. If we wanted, yeah, I know. That's the best part.
Just by talking about it right now, it's out there, and it's pervasive throughout the planet. So that frequency is being picked up by the many.
Oh yeah.
And those, like you said, that don't have a clue, that's why we're here. We're here to help them when they do start realizing what has transpired.
Absolutely, and give them that love that they've never known before. Right. The one that doesn't judge them. And I think we also need to go, like you say, a little bit further. I think we got to go off planet. I think we have a lot of alien cousins that we have to kind of embrace whatever they look like or come at us like and say, you know what, your energies, I don't know who you are, but I can feel you. And that's what I feel, not what I see and not what I judge or not what I fear or not what I misunderstand. But I think that it'll be surprising for us when we start to have these conversations with them about what they don't like about us.
You know what? They have no judgment. They have no judgment. And that's where we have to go.
Some of them.
Well, no, some of them, the ones that are of the highest dimension have no judgment.
Yeah.
Because there is no right or wrong. And they come with unconditional love. You look at a child as it's born or incarnated in each lifetime. They come in with no judgment. You have children running up to animals, to other children. There's no filter for them to say, oh, I can't play with this child. I can't play with this animal. They love everything. It's unconditional love. And our galactic brethren, they're here. They're just waiting for us to reach that point where we can accept them. That's why they're showing themselves so much in abundance right now, where we have all these UFOs and all of our orbs and all of these people that are actually coming down and joining us.
Well, talking about
step by step.
Talking about orbs, I just want to say, if you guys see orbs, just say hi.
Yeah.
Just say hey, because you know what? There's something consciousness up there. It's like there's some shaman tricks that you can do or whatever. We're more than shamans. I like that fact, but the fact is that the water is conscious. The clouds are made from water. They're conscious. Whether they like talking to the trees or the dog or whatever, the clouds can hear you too when you talk about weather. And if you want a cloudless day, say this is what I want, or you can part the clouds, or you can do whatever, just by asking them and sending out your intention to, that they'll respond in a loving way. And they listen to you and do as that. But when you do that, there's always these other effects around it, so I tend to leave them to their own weather control stuff. But I'm sorry, I forgot where I was going to go with my stories. But I do it all the time when I try to share more than I probably should. I don't know.
Well, I think it's important. I mean, I've learned too that the more expressive you are, I mean, don't assume, first of all, that they are reading your thoughts or your intent, but I want them to know that I acknowledge, right? And we are part of the one. When you really understand that is you, so yeah,
well,
I love it. It makes
cool.
it more interactive too. So
right on. Well, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for holding the space, grandmothers. You are honored here today, and to the many that are not on the screen, they are here too. So thank you.
Much love. Wawa.
You guys, wawa.
Wow, what a great story, of having success when you have had a surgery and go through that big process, that is a big process, and then to have great results and starting to feel in the energy and the momentum, of that joy. Does anyone else have anything else to add, Hunas, before we
What about if there's any other person that would like to join us and come on the screen with us?
Sure.
And has a question for us? We welcome you. We'd love to hear from you. And thank you to the two gentlemen that just came on. We really appreciate that. Is there anyone else, Kahasahi?
I was going to say maybe Kasahi can drop the link again.
I will do that, but there's no one
She's
here.
like the phantom voice.
Yes, I am.
We appreciate you.
I know.
There we are. Thank you. Yeah. Very good. There are a lot of signs. Speaking of, I'm so anxious to listen to the Blackbird Oracle because, I know Tama Ake. I just saw her in the chat, because she shares the sacred geometries of the month. And then Kahasai is on the Oracle, of course, and then it brings in those essences. And I feel like there's these messages that I have to tap into that I haven't received quite yet. At least, it's in my field, but I need to tune into it,
Let me speak to some of the responses of nature that I think some people don't doubt, that the orbs and the clouds, when they take formations and the numbers, they think, oh no, that's woo woo. And a lot of the missions that I've been doing recently, there were responses that were quite magical. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, I had never been in the water element as this time doing the healing lagoon. So a couple went into this lagoon, and it was great. They were fine. And then I went in, and the fish came, schools of fish came in and just were all around me, and they're going, what happened? And I had just done the login and the codes for the healing lagoon, and the fish responded. And then I went outside. They went in now thinking that was going to happen, and I went outside, and the fish came to me. And there was one, and I am pretty sure this is Mauta, because I could identify him, and he wouldn't leave. Every time I looked down, he was there. He turned around, he was there, and it's like, okay, I see you. I think you're acknowledging that I'm doing the right thing. Another time it was a stingless bee, because stingless bees are under attack. Because their honey is so valuable. One came and he just sat and he just stared at me like this. That's what hummingbirds usually do, but instead it was a bee. Another time it was a double rainbow right after a ceremony. And another time it was, lots of times it was shorebirds, and they were, first it was 1, then it was 3, then it was 5, then it was 7. Each time I did a ceremony, the number, I think at one time it got up to, I counted 12 or more large pelicans flying over, and I just happened to look, and it's just the opening of the trees for me to see just as they fly by. And I go, what are the chances of that? So a lot of times people don't realize that if we're open to the messages, that they are there, that we just our presence, just our beingness, just our elevation of energy and resonance, and bringing the light into that moment, that the orbs would be around if you can feel them. You don't have to have a special camera, and just being open can be a way of shifting each of us and those around us into another frame of being. And so I invite people to walk into a room that you might be dreading, to meeting with people, and walk in with a different intention and just saying, I'm not going to say a word. I'm going to come in with a beautiful intention about resolving this. And don't say a word, just walk in and emanate and see what happens. Magic can happen with that intention. That's kind of what I want to say about it.
It always does happen. And as you said, the orbs are around us, the beings are around us. We always have somebody with us from our galactic family, our star family, whatever you want to call them, but they're always with us. And, a few years back, I was not aware that they were with us. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at pictures from years ago. They were there. I just didn't notice it at the time. But now I take a picture or a video, and they're everywhere, and I'm aware of it. But I wasn't aware back then that they were in my pictures. Took a picture, and you just look at the big picture instead of fine tuning it and really seeing it. But like you said, they're there, and they're amongst us, and they're here to help us, and they really want us to experience whatever experience we decided we'd come in and want to experience in this lifetime and in the previous lifetimes. So they're here to help us have the experience, whether it's something joyful, which I prefer right now. But some people chose to be hit by a train. Some people chose to be shot and murdered. So we have to accept that was their choice when they came in, because that's the experience they wanted to experience. Where, like I said, I prefer right now to experience joy at all times. And but my life has been full of trauma, and I've had the other, but I've learned from it. And like you said earlier, Lynn, we're learning from every experience, and I'm just grateful. After I was given last rites, and I'm not going to go into the accident that happened, and I looked at the priest at the time and I said, why am I still here? What am I supposed to do? It wasn't why me, it was something more. So I knew back then, and I'm going back 40 years ago, I knew back then that there was something that I was supposed to do and accomplish and learn from that. And I did learn from that, because I knew I was moving too fast and I needed to slow down. And I wasn't slowing down. So the experience that I must have chosen was to tell me, if you don't do it, we're going to do it for you. And I had that traumatic experience. I've had a few of them. But we learn from them. And every experience that we have, we build upon, because we just add that to our little wallet back here, and we use that to move forward. And maybe now we're not going to choose to do the same thing over again and get the same results, because we haven't learned from it. But everything we have done has made us who we are today and how we're going to go forward.
Yeah, I was thinking that
we have somebody else on.
Yeah, those people who have played roles, I'm in such gratitude, because we learn through that as well, through that experience, and it shows us a reflection many times. Hello, Huna Manarori. It's Manakori. Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, anyway, I just want to thank everyone. I've learned so much. I'm on a beautiful walk out here in southern Colorado. And I just want to briefly share an experience I had today when I was joining a meditation with a group I had followed for over the years called 144K. And spontaneously, I joined their meditation. And it was about getting ready for the eclipse on the 29th by clearing the rings of Saturn and also our Earth. So undoing. And so as I was doing the meditation, we got to a point where we needed to really clear out the negative entities and energies. And I know that this is what Huna Mauta Kumaritaki was very, very comfortable with. So as we were in that part of the meditation, all of a sudden he came into my meditation and I could feel him doing that as he does it so well and comfortably. And then I started to feel like tears of the dragon. So it was really beautiful. And anyway, it was like the undoing, because he was using words like cracking and all the words that are in ceremony. So I just wanted to share that.
Wow.
And that was a joy for me. Yeah, it was a joy for me. And also nature is a joy for me. And creating the new is a joy for me while honoring the old. Because what I've heard today is that these are all lessons. And, you know, we need to remember that people chose what they are experiencing for the greater wisdom of becoming more of who we are. So anyway, thank you all.
Well,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Huna.
Where are you in Southern Colorado? I'm in Steamboat Springs.
Right, we've talked on the phone. I am in
Oh.
Pueblo, West Colorado, and from here I can see the Santa Fe Mountains, and probably you can too, that are one of the stargates. You know, in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, there's one of the stargates in Motu, and it's in Santa Fe, Sangre de Cristo Mountains.
Yes.
So that's where I am. I'm only a few hours away from there.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
And talking about the Honu, we have two of us Honus here.
Mm-hmm.
Huna Wata Waho and myself. And Tamaake.
Oh, that's right. Uh-huh. Yeah,
And me.
Yes, and Maro. Yeah, Makoro.
And Makoro.
Okay. I'm doing my Lemurian birth chart with Tamaaki on Friday. So that's exciting.
Oh, beautiful.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
She's fabulous.
You'll learn so much. You'll have to listen to it over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, thank you so much.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see, how do I get off?
This has been absolutely wonderful once again, my dear Huna sisters. The four pillars.
The 4 pillars. Thank you all.
Thank you, sisters.
Thank you.
And thank you, Family of Light, for joining us.
If I
May
may
you be
say
filled
one
with
thing.
joy. Yes.
Yeah.
Remember that the children are pure and they have unconditional love. And like Yeshua always said to us, be more childlike. So if you can find the joy, since we're talking about joy today, in everything you do, look at it from a child's perspective and go back to that childhood, because when you were young and running around and playing, you weren't worried about all the extraneous things that were going on in the world. You were just enjoying. So it's so important that we enjoy every moment and just enjoy being. Take the moment, find joy in the moment. Don't worry about the future. The past is gone. It's done. We're not going to worry about that at all. We're not going to worry, period. But find joy in the moment and live it to the fullest. And have a wonderful day. And I love you all. And thank you all for joining us. We so appreciate it. And anybody that wants to come on at any time, please come and join us. We're here.
Yes.
We're one of the many and many of the one, and that includes all of you.
Wawa, everybody. We'll see you next month.
Wawa.
Wawa.